Hello, second grade mathematicians. Welcome back to Number Corner. For Number Corner today, we are going to be looking more closely at our calendar grid. Last time we looked at our calendar grid, we talked about our first 4 calendar markers and what fraction of the whole each picture was. Today, we are going to turn around the next set of our calendar markers for April 5th through 9th. As we turn them over, we are going to be thinking about what we notice and what might be on the next marker. You won't need any materials today. Let's have a look at the calendar marker for April 5th. You may have seen these markers already. Take a moment to think about what you notice about this calendar marker. What do you see? If you're still thinking, you can pause the video. A few things you may have noticed is that we have some fruit on a plate. What fruit is on the plate? Show a connection if you're thinking, well, these are strawberries. How many strawberries are you noticing? Show a thumbs up if you noticed 5 strawberries. You may also have noticed that they are on what looks like a picnic blanket or maybe a picnic table. It looks like someone's going to be enjoying their strawberries outside. Do you think you could make a prediction about what our next calendar marker will look like? Remember, just like our first set of the garden beds, all of our markers will be pretty similar. Let's look at the next marker and see if your prediction was correct. Show a connection if you were thinking our calendar marker would look like this. What do you notice about this marker? Now, you may have noticed that we have a blueberry on the plate. We still have some strawberries here, but do we have the same amount of strawberries? No, now we only have 4 strawberries. Do we have the same amount of fruit? Yeah, we do. We still have 5 pieces of fruit. The only difference is, well, now one's a blueberry. With the pattern we're starting to see, and knowing that this is a set that will be all very similar, do you think you could predict what the next marker will look like? Let's see if your prediction is correct. Show a connection if you were thinking this is what our marker would look like. What do you notice about this one? Show a connection if you noticed that now there are 2 blueberries. Yeah. Do we have the same amount of fruit? Thumbs up if you think, well, yeah, we still have 5 pieces of fruit. You're correct. We do still have the same amount. We have 5 pieces. But now we have 3 strawberries and 2 blueberries. With what we've noticed so far, can you make a prediction of what the next marker will look like? Thumbs up or thumbs down. Is this what you were thinking the marker would look like? What do you notice about this one? Show a connection if you're noticing we still have 5 pieces of fruit. Well, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may have noticed that now we only have 2 strawberries, and we have 1, 2, 3 blueberries. Let's look at our last calendar marker in this set. But before you do, can you make a prediction of what we'll see on that calendar marker? Here it is. Were you correct? Is this what you thought you would see on the marker for April 9th? Now we're down to just 1 strawberry. Now that we have all 5 markers in this set, I want you to look at all 5. I want you to think about, how are they alike? Let's compare and contrast our markers. How are they different? Now you may have been noticing a few things. Well, you may have noticed that one thing they have in common, or that's alike about all of them, is that each picture has strawberries on a plate. That's the same. Another thing you may have noticed is that each plate has 5 pieces of fruit. That's something that's the same. They may be different fruits, but on each plate we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how are they different? Well, you may be thinking that, well, they're different because this plate right here doesn't have any blueberries. The next plate has 1 blueberry, and the others have more over here. And as we look at every plate, we're seeing more blueberries as we go, and less strawberries. That's something that's different. Now, did it become easier for you to predict what would show up next in the set as you saw more of our calendar markers? Thumbs up or thumbs down. If it became easier and you're showing a thumbs up, think about why it might have become easier. You may have been thinking about our set as a pattern. We are taking away 1 strawberry every time and replacing it with a blueberry. We're adding 1 more blueberry and taking away 1 strawberry as we go. Knowing that made it a little bit easier, didn't it? Now that we've had a little more time to examine our calendar markers, let's fill out our calendar grid observation chart. The first thing that we want to know on our chart is if we're talking about a whole or a set when we talk about our fractions. Well, let's quickly have a look back at our last set to think about how we can answer this question. When we were asked if these calendar markers are a whole or a set, well, we said they were a whole. Why do you think we said they're fractions of a whole? You might be thinking a few different things. Why we really say they're fractions of a whole is because in every calendar marker, we're talking about parts of a whole garden bed. We're talking about taking 1 big piece of something and breaking it into smaller, equal pieces. Now, let's look back at our markers for today. When we look at these calendar markers here, are we seeing 1 whole big piece of fruit that we're breaking into little pieces? Thumbs up or thumbs down. I should see a lot of thumbs down. We're not seeing 1 big piece of fruit. We're seeing 5 pieces of fruit on each calendar marker. We have a set of 5 pieces of fruit. That's why we call it a set instead of a whole. Now we're going to look at how many. And when we say how many, we want to know how many are in the set. So let's start by looking at our first calendar marker. How many pieces of fruit do you see? You can hold up your fingers to show how many you see. We see 5 pieces of fruit. Now, how many of those pieces are strawberries? Hold up your fingers. Yeah, 5 of those 5 pieces of fruit are strawberries. Because all of the first picture is strawberries, we're really going to focus on our strawberries for this set. So we want to know how many strawberries are there. We would say for our first picture that there are 5 strawberries. Now in our next picture, do we still have 5 pieces of fruit? Thumbs up or thumbs down? We sure do. So I'll still keep the number 5 on the bottom to show how many pieces of fruit we have. Now how many are strawberries? Just 4. We have 4 pieces of fruit that are strawberries and 1 blueberry. Do we still have 5 pieces of fruit on the next calendar marker? Thumbs up or thumbs down? We sure do. We still have our 5 pieces of fruit. How many strawberries do we have now? We have 3 strawberries now. Let's look at the marker for the 8th. How many pieces of fruit? Show me on your fingers. Still 5. Now how many strawberries? Show me on your fingers. Now we're down to 2 strawberries. How about for the last calendar marker? Do we have 5 pieces of fruit? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Oh, thumbs up, we sure do. How many strawberries? Just 1 and 4 blueberries. So let's fill in how many strawberries and how many blueberries we have. Now we can write down some of our observations of what we've noticed as we looked through our set, our fractions of our set. Here are some of the things that we've been noticing. You may have a few more to add. You'll have a chance to do that on Seesaw. For our calendar marker for the 5th, we notice that this whole set is all strawberries. Our 5 pieces of fruit are all strawberries. We also noticed on the next calendar marker that 4 out of 5 are strawberries. On the next one, 3 out of 5 are strawberries. And to show a connection, if you notice that we kind of flipped our fraction, we could say now that 3 out of 5 are blueberries. That's something that kind of switched around on this one. On the last one, we can see that only 1 out of 5, or 1/5 of our set, is strawberries. Now, you're going to have a chance to share some of your observations. If maybe you noticed something I didn't, or we didn't as we went in this video. You're going to go into Seesaw and share something you noticed about this set with your teacher. Great work today, mathematicians. I will see you next time for Number Corner.